Download the latest AZ-500 exam questions to pass the Microsoft Azure Security Technologies exam easily. 1. You need to meet the identity and access requirements for Group 1. What should you do? A. Add a membership rule to Group 1. B. Delete Group 1. Create a new group named Group 1 that has a membership type of Office 365. Add users and devices to the group. C. Modify the membership rule of Group 1. D. Change the membership type of Group 1 to assigned. Create two groups that have dynamic memberships. Add the new groups to Group 1. 2. You need to ensure that you can meet the security operations requirements. What should you do first? A. Turn on auto-provisioning in Security Center. B. Integrate Security Center and Microsoft Cloud App Security. C. Upgrade the pricing tier of Security Center to Standard. D. Modify the Security Center workspace configuration. 3. You need to configure Web App 1 to meet the data and application requirements. Which two actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. Upload a public certificate. B. Turn on the HTTPS-only protocol setting. C. Set the minimum TLS version protocol setting to 1.2. D. Change the pricing tier of the app service plan. E. Turn on the incoming client certificates protocol setting. 4. From Azure Security Center, what should you do first? A. Enable Azure Defender. B. Create an Azure management. C. Create an initiative. D. Configure continuous export. 5. Your network contains an on-premises Active Directory domain named corp.contoso.com. You have an Azure subscription named Sub1 that is associated to an Azure Active Directory, Azure AD, tenant named contoso.com. You sync all on-premises identities to Azure AD. You need to prevent users who have a given name attribute that starts with test from being synced to Azure AD. The solution must minimize administrative effort. What should you use? A. Synchronization Rules Editor. B. Web Service Configuration Tool. C. The Azure AD Connect Wizard. D. Active Directory Users and Computers. 6. You have Azure Resource Manager templates that you use to deploy Azure virtual machines. You need to disable unused Windows features automatically as instances of the virtual machines are provisioned. What should you use? A. Device compliance policies in Microsoft Intune. B. Azure Automation State Configuration. C. Application Security Groups. D. Azure Advisor. 7. You have an Azure subscription named Sub1 that is associated to an Azure Active Directory, Azure AD, tenant named contoso.com. You are assigned the Global Administrator role for the tenant. You are responsible for managing Azure Security Center settings. You need to create a custom sensitivity label, What should you do first? A. Create a custom sensitive information type. B. Elevate access for global administrators in Azure AD. C. Upgrade the pricing tier of the Security Center to standard. D. Enable integration with Microsoft Cloud App Security. Eight. You create a new Azure subscription. You need to ensure that you can create custom alert rules in Azure Security Center. Which two actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. A. Onboard Azure Active Directory, Azure AD, Identity Protection. B. Create an Azure Storage account. C. Implement Azure Advisor recommendations. D. Create an Azure Log Analytics workspace. E. Upgrade the pricing tier of Security Center to standard. Nine. You have an Azure subscription named Sub1 that contains an Azure policy definition named Policy 1. Policy 1 has the following settings: definition location, tenant root group, category, monitoring. You need to ensure that resources that are non-compliant with Policy 1 are listed in the Azure Security Center dashboard. What should you do first? A. Change the category of Policy 1 to Security Center. B. Add Policy 1 to a custom initiative. C. Change the definition location of Policy 1 to Sub1. D. Assign Policy 1 to Sub1. 10. You have an Azure subscription named Sub1. In Azure Security Center, you have a workflow automation named WF1. WF1 is configured to send an email message to a user named User1. You need to modify WF1 to send email messages to a distribution group named Alerts. What should you use to modify WF1? A. Azure Application Insights. B. Azure Monitor. C. Azure Logic Apps Designer. D. Azure DevOps.